We're talking to Mr. R.C. Bartlett and Mr. Bruce Wood, and the topic is the National Association for the Advancement of Colored People and environmental injustices. And of course, Mr. Wood, you promised that you'd give us some information relative to some of the instances of environmental injustices that you found in the state of Tennessee as a member of the NAACP and et cetera. Let's talk about it.
Well, sure. And it's not just in the state of Tennessee, it's everywhere. I mean, look at Southern Services. There's a landfill in Ashland City Highway, North Nashville, and in that same area is where they put all the prisons. Well, go to Belmead. There's no landfill and there's no prisons. Well, that's there's no accidents, you know. I mean, that's what happens. And again, that's what I said, that's how we got involved with the NAACP. Every pollution we fought, there were black people and minority and poor people being polluted. And so that's led us to the NAACP, and they are a national. And then look at Dixon County. They had this landfill that was there. They recruited industries to come in. The governor, the then governor, was from Dixon County, and one of his proud things was that he brought in all this industry. So they allowed them to just get rid of their heavy toxic material waste, and they put it in this landfill that's now a very, very highly polluted groundwater. It's a 75-acre landfill, but the pollution is spread out 3 miles. And who lived there? Former descendants of slaves that owned agriculture. They were self-supporting for scores of years. They'd supported themselves, and now their property has gone down in value. People won't buy their crops because of the known pollution in the groundwater, and it's just all. Memphis has terrible groundwater problems. So yes, environmental injustice is it's a minority and poor people that get inflicted with the pollution.
Well, now, what do we do in reference to that, Mr. Wood? I mean, how do you react to that? I mean,
well, I react by trying to get organized. And of course, that's tough. It's tough in Tennessee. You see, Tennessee is just people don't realize it because of who we deal with. Like, you know, you're a professor and the kind of people you deal with day in, day out. But Tennessee, has worse infant mortality in Tennessee than Cuba. Cuba, a baby born in Cuba is more likely to live 1 year than a baby born in Tennessee. Go figure. Literacy rates, obesity rates, all those health factors are worse in Tennessee than many third world countries. So but you said, well, what do I do? Well, I try to get organized and work with people, because people can change policies, but it's very, very difficult. It's very difficult. And that's why we're blessed to work with Marilyn Robinson. Mrs. Sweetlove is the president of the Tennessee Convention. Harold Bell from Dixon County is the president there, and he's a leader. But I'm telling you, it's a tough. It's tough being what we do. It's tough. It takes a toll on you.
Well, Mr. Bartlett, what about your experiences? What have you found in terms of environmental pollution that you're dealing with?
Well, I've found that we have strong, heavy polluted places here in the state of Tennessee. One like at Walter Hill, we have been having low-level nuclear waste dumped in right here within 30 miles of where we are. And not only this, we've had this problem down at Dixon where all the chemicals are washed into the well water where people drinking off of. And notwithstanding, right here in our own Davidson County, we have pollution here. We have it is strong here. And our drinking water, as well as in our air pollution and all this kind of thing. See, as a matter of fact, the exhaust from the cars and trucks and all this kind of thing, and we having all kinds of problems that we just, you know, and realize just taking notice to, where we need to had looked at it way before, because as Mr. Wood said, we have an opportunity to clean up a lot of this pollution that we have. And I would say that this is where we stand in it, as we need to do it for our children and our grandchildren and all this kind of thing, because I've hit the age that I've just about wore out time on earth, but you know, we got to look in the future for the ones that to come. And it's just been a blessing to meet you, Dr. Henry, and we thank you for the work that you've been doing for our neighborhood people and all this kind of thing. And thank you for being here today.
Very good. You know, and Mr. Wood, you know, when you talk about landfills and et cetera, you were also connected with the incinerator project.
Right.
Why don't you talk about that for the next 2 minutes?
Well, that's how we got started. I mean, I'll tell you, our group B.U.R.N.T, and then we work with the NAACP as an independent group. We're in our 20th year. We got started in 1988. They were going to spend $300 million to expand the downtown incinerator that would have been a garbage processor up on Rutledge Hill, where they're now doing all the development. And I'll tell you, it was a very close call. They actually, we worked for years on that. It wasn't just us. It was the neighborhoods, the Sierra Club, the East Nashville. It was a hubbub. It was a, man, people were upset. But get this, Doctor, this is a very interesting thing with American history and how politics and power, they had the vote to pass it. They had a 1-vote margin. And then Mr. Guy Bates, the Metro councilman, who was also in charge of the incinerator committee, he said, there's just too much turmoil, too much uncertainty. I'm going to defer this indefinitely. And man, the whole room exploded. It was a national issue. They had people from across the nation. They were going to get the Nashville incinerator and then like dominoes, go get some more. And so it was a big decision. And that was a $300 million thing. And now look at the commercial real estate in downtown Nashville. And I'll tell you, people say that that was our group that stopped that. Of course, it was the other people. But then also the rendering plant in Germantown, that used to cause a lot of, all over Nashville. Laidlaw, Osco, Cockrell Bend, that we stopped that. And then there's, so that's one of the things B.U.R.N.T has done is that we shut down the chronic polluters, and that helps the commercial real estate.
Very good. Of course, we've got about a half a minute before the end of this particular segment here, Mr. Wood and Mr. Bartlett. But when we come back, we want to think in terms of what the two of you might be able to suggest as to how we might be able to get a greater support for the among the community and throughout in reference to trying to save the environment, because I was not of the impression that the situation was as bad as it appears to be. And of course, we'll be back with our audience following this very, very short commercial break. And the topic is